Hey everybody, and welcome back to The Deep Dive
with Jay and Maxine.
Welcome to The Deep Dive, where we break down emerging technology, bold business ideas, creative innovation, and the film and entertainment trends shaping tomorrow. Brought to you by V9X Media Group.
Imagine, if you will, the absolute peak of Hollywood glamour.
Oh, sure.
You know, you're probably picturing the red carpets, the sprawling historic studio lots.
Giant cinema screens, right?
Right. Now, I want you to take that mental image and basically smash it right into the gritty, unglamorous, but incredibly vital world of economic infrastructure.
It is quite the contrast.
It really is. And that is exactly the intersection we are exploring today, and it is a fascinating ride. We're looking at a highly detailed pitch deck. It's titled V9X Media, California Vertical Digital Infrastructure Proposal.
Which I have to say is a truly profound document when you look past the corporate formatting.
It is. And our mission for you on this deep dive is to really look past that surface level. We're not just talking about some new tech startup trying to build another app for people to endlessly doom scroll.
Oh, not at all.
We are unpacking a tectonic structural shift in how media is produced, how it's consumed, and how this specific proposal, V9X, is attempting to put some actual formal economic structure around what is essentially the Wild West of the digital creator economy.
And to really set the scene for you, imagine our deep dive backdrop transforming right now.
Okay, paint the picture.
Picture the sprawling modern cityscapes of Los Angeles. You know, the iconic palm trees, the massive sound stages, the heavy traffic on the 405.
Yeah, always the traffic.
Always. But overlay all of that with these rapid glowing digital data streams pouring down from mobile towers. Because for you, the listener, someone who I know loves spotting the big trends long before they hit the mainstream consciousness, this document is an absolute masterclass.
It really maps it out.
It shows exactly how substantial economic gaps are identified in real time, and more importantly, how strategic thinkers plan to build the actual plumbing to fill them.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the core problem itself. When you look at the market reality outlined early in the proposal, the numbers are just staggering.
They're massive.
We are living in a world where the vast majority of Gen Z and millennial content consumption is happening on mobile devices.
Yeah.
And it's not just mobile, it is specifically short-form vertical video. The horizontal screen is losing ground rapidly in terms of daily active attention. People are holding their phones upright and they are scrolling.
They're locked in.
Exactly. That is where the eyeballs are currently locked.
What's fascinating here is the stark contrast between that booming digital reality and the physical economic reality happening right now in Los Angeles.
Right.
The proposal highlights a severe slowdown in traditional film production infrastructure post-strike. The major studios just aren't greenlighting or producing at the volume they used to.
Which leaves a lot of people waiting for the phone to ring.
Precisely. So what you have in Los Angeles right now is this significant surplus of highly skilled, deeply experienced, but ultimately underutilized freelance production talent.
Yeah.
We are talking about veteran camera operators, lighting technicians, sound mixers, set designers, an entire ecosystem of craftspeople dealing with a sudden drop in studio volume.
And then, on the exact opposite side of the spectrum, you have the independent creators. And there is a profound irony here.
It's the core tension of the deck.
It is. These digital creators are driving literally millions and millions of views. They are commanding the attention of entire demographics. Yet they are stuck in this agonizing financial dilemma.
Because they don't own the pipes.
Right. They have no sustainable, ownership-centered distribution models. They are entirely at the mercy of unpredictable ad-sharing algorithms.
Which can change overnight.
Overnight, their out-of-pocket production costs are high, and if they want to scale up, they hit an immediate brick wall because they have almost zero access to traditional small business capital.
Yeah, try getting a bank loan for a TikTok channel.
I mean, literally, picture a 22-year-old walking into a traditional bank for a small business loan. The loan officer asks for their business plan or collateral, and the kid says, well, I have 3 million views on a video where I rank potato chips by crunchiness.
The bank is going to laugh them out of the lobby.
Exactly.
And that is exactly the friction point. When you synthesize those two distinct problems, you see the substantial economic gap that this proposal is zeroing in on.
The digital boom versus the physical slump.
Right. On one side, you have an exploding digital content ecosystem, generating unprecedented global engagement, but completely lacking financial legitimacy.
Yeah.
On the other side, you have a total lack of formal economic integration to support it, alongside a traditional, highly trained workforce sitting idle. The argument being made is that California, which has been the undisputed king of media for a century, actually risks losing its leadership in next-generation digital production if this infrastructure is not formalized locally.
Because the talent will just leave.
Exactly. The gap has to be bridged, or the talent and the money will simply migrate elsewhere.
Which brings us perfectly to the solution. The proposal introduces the core of this whole pitch, which is the V9X infrastructure. And I really want to emphasize this for you. V9X is not pitching itself as just another social network.
No, they're very clear about that.
They are defining themselves as a California-based digital media infrastructure platform built specifically from the ground up for vertical-first streaming content.
The mechanics of how they plan to achieve this are brilliant because they focus entirely on professionalizing the creator.
Treating them like actual businesses.
Yes, the ultimate goal of V9X is to take these independent creators and transition them into sustainable media micro-businesses. They aren't just influencers hoping for a viral hit anymore. They are formalized economic entities.
How do they actually do that, though?
V9X proposes doing this by offering a subscription-ready monetization structure right out of the gate, alongside formal advertising revenue pathways. But perhaps the most critical element they are introducing is formal production standards for vertical form filming, backed by structured revenue share agreements. They are essentially replacing algorithmic luck with predictable business mechanics.
It's treating vertical video with the logistical respect of traditional cinema.
Exactly.
And they have a very clear phased rollout plan to make this happen. Phase 1 is all about admin-controlled content distribution. They are keeping a tight grip on quality and process at the start to ensure the plumbing actually works.
Which is smart.
Then phase 2 is a structured creator onboarding expansion, opening the doors, but in a very systematic, vetted way.
Right.
And finally, phase 3 is the monetization, optimization, and workforce scaling. It's a highly measured crawl, walk, run approach to building a brand new industry standard.
And that phase 3, the workforce scaling, is where the real-world impact of bridging this gap really starts to materialize for the local economy.
Yes. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because when you actually run the numbers on what this infrastructure demands, the job creation projections are staggering.
They really are.
This is where you see how a seemingly small shift in digital formatting from horizontal to vertical has widespread, tangible impacts on people's actual livelihoods.
Let's look at the pilot phase, phase 1, which is just a 6-month window.
Okay, the first 6 months.
V9X plans to onboard a highly curated group of 25 to 30 California-based creators. By bringing formal production standards to vertical video, V9X estimates that each of these creators will bring on an average of 3 to 5 freelance crew members per production.
Wait, let me pause you there, because my first thought when reading that was, how do 3 to 5 crew members even fit into a vertical shoot?
It's a fair question.
We are so used to thinking of TikToks or Reels as one person alone in their bedroom with a cheap ring light. What do these freelance roles actually do on a vertical set?
That is the pivotal shift this platform is pushing. When you optimize for a 9:16 vertical frame with cinematic standards, the mechanics completely change.
How so?
Well, you need a dedicated gaffer, because lighting a tall, narrow frame without casting weird shadows requires specialized rigging.
Oh, that makes sense.
You need professional sound mixers, because mobile phone speakers compress audio differently than theater speakers. You might have a set designer specifically building vertical depth and a dedicated focus puller. Suddenly, that single creator in a bedroom is running a legitimate mini production.
That makes so much sense. So mathematically, those 25 to 30 creators suddenly activate between 75 and 150 freelance production roles.
Exactly.
And that's just the production side. V9X also needs people to run the platform itself. They project needing 3 to 5 technology support roles, 2 to 3 people for content review and compliance, and another 2 for marketing and growth. So in just the first 6 months, this pilot program activates an estimated total of 85 to 160 local California-based jobs.
And it doesn't stop there.
Oh.
Moving into the Phase 2 expansion, which spans the first 12 months, they plan to scale up to 70 creators.
Wow, okay.
That bumps the job activation up to anywhere from 200 to 350 freelance positions, plus 10 to 15 operational roles on the platform side. The scaling is incredibly rapid because the model relies on decentralized micro-business hiring rather than a single bloated studio payroll.
Which is much more agile.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the impact goes far beyond just the direct hires. The proposal maps out what economists call the multiplier effect.
The ripple effect through the economy.
Yes. When we talk about professionalizing these shoots, we have to look at where the money actually flows once it enters the local ecosystem.
Because they have to rent equipment, right?
Exactly. These micro-productions require professional camera and lens rentals. They require dedicated post-production services and color grading. They are paying for music licensing, wardrobe, studio space, and all the transportation and logistics required to move equipment and people around Los Angeles.
It feeds the entire gig economy.
Let's do the math on that, as the financial breakdown provides a very conservative estimate. Let's say 30 creators produce content on a quarterly basis, and each production cycle has an average local spend of $7,500.
Okay, $7.5K per cycle.
When you multiply 30 creators by that $7,500, you are injecting $225,000 into the local economy every single production cycle.
That is massive. And over the course of a year, during just this initial pilot phase, that totals $900,000 in local production circulation.
Nearly $1 million.
Nearly $1 million flowing straight into local rental houses, freelance editors, caterers, and transport services. And again, this is purely the pilot phase. As the platform scales, those multiplier effects increase proportionally. It's a system designed to reactivate a dormant economic engine from the bottom up.
Which brings us to the actual funding ask.
Right. And honestly, this is the part I need to push back on, because when I read this, I did a double take.
It is surprisingly low.
When you hear about nearly $1 million in local economic circulation and hundreds of jobs created, you expect the funding request to be astronomical. But they are asking for an institutional seed amount of just $170,000 to launch this entire pilot capital deployment.
Correct.
Wait, $170,000? For a comprehensive tech infrastructure platform and a significant job activation rollout? That sounds impossibly low. How does the math on that actually work?
It sounds low if you're comparing it to traditional Silicon Valley venture capital, where startups raise $50 million just to figure out their logo.
True.
But in the context of highly targeted economic infrastructure projects, it is a brilliantly calculated ask. They aren't building a physical studio. They're building the connective tissue.
Okay, let's break down exactly where that $170,000 goes, because they account for every penny.
They do.
The largest chunk, $45,000, goes directly to a workforce activation fund. These are essentially micro grants directly empowering the creators to hire those crews we just talked about.
Direct injection into the workforce.
Then $35,000 goes to finishing the technology infrastructure. There is a $30,000 operational buffer built in. $25,000 is earmarked for marketing and creator recruitment. $20,000 goes to platform stability and hosting, ensuring the backend doesn't crash. And finally, $15,000 is allocated for legal and compliance.
And that legal and compliance line item is crucial because it ties directly into their accountability framework.
How so?
V9X is going out of its way to prove they are responsible actors. They are actively aligning their model with the SSBCI, the State Small Business Credit Initiative, and the California iBank Small Business Loan Guarantee Program.
Unpack that a bit for us. Why do those specific government programs matter to a media startup?
It's a pivotal detail. Historically, these state-backed credit initiatives were designed to de-risk loans for traditional brick-and-mortar businesses, like a local bakery or a hardware store.
Right, physical storefronts.
By aligning with the SSBCI and iBank, V9X is bridging a massive institutional divide. They are doing the hard legal work to translate digital views and vertical content into state-recognized legitimate small businesses.
That is a huge shift in perspective.
It means they aren't relying on fickle venture capital that demands explosive, unsustainable growth. Instead, they're utilizing government-backed frameworks designed for steady, accountable, local economic development.
That makes total sense. They are proving these creators are just as viable a business investment as the bakery down the street. And to maintain that trust, they are promising total transparency. They commit to quarterly economic impact reports, tracking exactly where the creator revenue is going, documenting every single job activated, and even providing geographic reporting on where the productions are taking place within the state.
They leave no stone unturned.
They have crystal clear KPIs, active creators, subscription volumes, production spending, and revenue generated.
This deep level of accountability is what gives weight to their ultimate grand vision. They remind the reader of California's deep historical dominance in this space.
It's quite a legacy.
If you look back, California led the early motion picture production era when filmmakers fled west to escape Thomas Edison's patent enforcement.
Setting up shop in Hollywood?
It built the legendary, highly structured Golden Age studio system. It pioneered the global expansion of television, and it served as the absolute bedrock of the modern streaming era.
They have always built the infrastructure that the rest of the world eventually adopts.
Always. But to secure the future, the proposal argues that establishing a formal, vertical-first cinematic infrastructure is the necessary next evolution.
Because the medium has changed.
The digital landscape is shifting fast. If California wants to retain its creative talent that could easily move to places like Atlanta or Texas with lower costs of living, if there's no localized infrastructure tying them down, it has to reactivate production spending locally.
Right.
By funding this targeted pilot, the state ensures it remains the epicenter of global film innovation, even as the format fundamentally shifts from landscape to portrait.
So what does this all mean? When we take a step back from the granular job numbers and the phased rollout plans, what is the core insight of this deep dive?
It's the maturation of the industry.
Exactly. It is that the creator economy is finally maturing out of its chaotic early internet phase. We are watching the real-time evolution of an industry.
A formalization.
It is transforming from a volatile space of individual influencers hoping for viral luck into a structured, formalized industry of media micro-businesses.
Yeah.
But those businesses cannot scale, and they certainly cannot support a broader workforce without formal economic infrastructure. They need production standards, they need structured monetization, and they desperately need access to reliable capital.
Which is exactly what's being pitched here.
And this proposal makes a brilliant math-backed case that a state like California has a deeply vested interest in building that exact foundation.
And for you listening right now, whether you work in traditional media, whether you are in finance, enterprise tech, or really any other industry, the underlying lesson here is profoundly applicable.
It's universal.
It is about how observing seemingly simple structural shifts in consumer behavior, like a generation collectively deciding they prefer to watch video on a vertical mobile screen rather than a horizontal television, can reveal monumental systemic opportunities for traditional economic infrastructure.
Finding the gap.
It's about looking at where the cultural attention and energy are flowing and realizing that the financial and logistical plumbing simply hasn't been built yet. Identifying that missing plumbing and doing the unglamorous work to lay those pipes is where true, lasting innovation actually happens.
Completely agree.
This raises an important question, though.
Oh, what's that?
One that isn't explicitly answered in the pitch deck, but that is essential to ponder. V9X's entire model relies on bringing traditional, high-quality production standards, professional lighting, dedicated freelance crews, professional wardrobe, and cinematic editing to vertical video.
Yes, the Hollywood treatment.
But we have to ask, will adding this level of highly polished Hollywood-style production value to mobile-first formats actually enhance the medium? Or is there a real risk that it might destroy the raw, unfiltered, spontaneous authenticity that made vertical video so wildly popular with Gen Z in the first place? Does professionalizing it ruin the magic?
That is the million-dollar question. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it gave you some incredible insights into where the future of media and infrastructure is heading and how the gig economy is evolving to meet it.
Keep looking for those shifts.
Keep exploring, keep spotting those hidden trends, and always keep questioning the world around you. We will catch you on the next deep dive.
We live on our phones. We experience the world through a screen, held in one hand. Yet the stories we watch were never made for this moment. They're cropped, compressed, turned sideways. Something gets lost. But what if nothing had to be? What if stories were created exactly the way we watch them? This is V9X, a new kind of streaming platform built from the ground up for vertical storytelling. Not short clips, not social posts. Real films, original series, documentaries, music, culture. Captured vertically, by design, not compromise. No distractions, no interruptions, no breaking the moment. Just immersive stories designed for the way you move through the world. And for creators, V9X is where vertical vision becomes a career, where storytellers are seen, respected, and paid. Because vertical isn't the future, it's already here. Follow V9X Media. Join the waitlist. The next generation of streaming lives in your hand.
Join the waitlist today to be grandfathered in with a one-time payment of just $17 for our top-tier subscription. V9X, vertical by design and defining the future of cinema. Subscribe, like, and follow V9X Media across all social platforms.